Hey everyone, so today I'm just going to run through an update on the three areas. Going to go talk about my brands and how we're moving supplier to the USA, some of the difficulties we encountered there for our health and personal care brand. The new one, that's going to be really big. The next area I'm going to talk about is the agency, how we're prepping Q4 for clients, some of the takeaways you can implement for your brand. And also, I'm just back from a trip from Thailand where I broke a very negative habit that I've had all year as I get over 30 years of age. So just for a bit of context, I'm a seven-figure entrepreneur. I own a company that sells the products. I also own a company that helps clients sell their products, i.e. an agency. So first off the bat, I've got my older brand that has done about 5 million in revenue. Still good, everything's fine there. Some new competitors coming in as well, but that's normal. We're in good shape coming into Q4. So for the brand itself, we're running, we're implementing some Christmas content because it is a gifting product. We're implementing some coupons, maybe Prime exclusive deals. What we're really trying to tap into is that product aware marketing. The lowest stage of the funnel in terms of getting people to make that action, make that purchase. So that might be around the offer, it might be a coupon, it might be a discount. These are things you want to tap into for BFCM. And the reason we want to tap into them for BFCM is because otherwise competitors will, and this is something we're taking into the agency too. If we know Amazon, we know the game of Amazon, we know how important the algorithm is, how important velocity is and momentum on Amazon. So we want to capture the momentum over BFCM, obviously my personal brands, but also for clients. And that's going to mean discounts. It's going to mean making sure the offer is right, pricing is on point, images are on point, and really trying to, I still want to be profitable, of course, but the discount will not overweigh the increase in conversion rate over that weekend. So we're still going to be very profitable, but their sales remain high up until probably, I'm guessing this year, is the 21st of December is a Sunday. So it's going to be the 20th that weekend. Sales are still going to be high, and then it will drop down. It's not always that way, the way the days of the week fall related to Christmas. So these are things that we're getting set up. And obviously the gifting terms. In peak, there's some markets that, because the conversion rate is so high, that we can tap into that off peak don't work as well. So there's a lot of stuff to get in order, and I'm pretty excited that we can have our best Xmas yet, Christmas yet. I don't know why I said Xmas. Christmas yet, most sales, most profitability, and I'm very excited about that. Now, when it comes to the new brand as well, so we had a new brand, we ran this health and personal care, we basically sold it for close to 12 months, profitable. It's doing a few $1,000s a month in profit, which is good. But ultimately it's out of stock now because we moved supplier from China to USA. And we were kind of doing that anyway before tariffs came in. So not hugely related, but definitely didn't deter us from moving from China to USA because of the tariffs. If anything, made us more certain that that was the right move. But ultimately, China still produces a lot. So the packaging coming out of China, we've run into like 6 weeks of delays. We've paid a deposit on packaging. So that was a couple of $1,000s deposit. And yeah, they haven't been able to get it right. Now, thankfully, they have got it right now. And I can see that the potential, they're just sending over samples to me here in Bali. I can see the packaging looks good now. So we just need to choose, there's a few different choices we have to make around the packaging. So they're going to send it over this way, and then we can get the packaging ordered and we get the deposit over to the US based lab. And very excited because it's been, as I said, 6 weeks delays, and ultimately I can see now from the images and the pictures that it is actually good. So we're very happy with that, and I think this brand's going to be big. So I'm really pumped for this heading into 2026 to get things moving. It's going to be great. And even my original brand, seven-figure brand, I think that's going to grow as well next year. I think it's going to grow on Amazon, but I also think it's going to grow off of Amazon too. We have a few things in the pipeline there that we will be building, and we're also building for clients as well now. So very excited. So when it comes to the agency, so I spoke about some of the things we're doing for my brands, or my brand. We're out of stock at the second one. And this is obviously going to be implemented for our clients as well, particularly those that have a big peak. Not everyone has a huge peak because some are just not as related, they're not as giftable. But for those that are, you really want to be capturing the BFCM. So that's what we're doing. We've built out plans for clients, and we've then brought them to the client. We're ready, we're set up. We're getting any of the creatives and sponsor brands creatives to tap into that Christmas buyer avatar. And I'm excited because a lot of the client accounts are in really good shape and we're delivering a lot of growth for them. So I'm very excited about this Q4 overall. So we've got a few things we've been working on in the background now that are really starting to come to fruition and something that I'm very pumped about. You know, we've in the middle of touching base with a lot of the clients now as well, because it's end of year. So I do want to talk to people, either me or Sam. We want to make sure we're talking to everyone, all of our clients. I'm really setting out what they've got, or really hearing about what they've got planned for 2026. You know, because the strategy for me I see us more as a growth partner now, whereas before I seen us more as an ads management partner. But to grow on Amazon takes more than just ads. You know, these days especially, maybe 5 years, 10 years ago, when I was getting started, maybe ads by themselves could grow Amazon businesses. But it's not the case anymore. It's really not the case. You need good supply chains, good quality. You need new products, new marketplaces, new, let's say, multi-channel approaches. There's a lot of things that can go in here that make the businesses grow. And as I mentioned on the last video, we're putting a lot of focus into creative now. I see ads as something very important, and it's very important to stay up to speed on this. I mean, a few things in the works here that I'm excited about. But the things that don't change over time, that actually Amazon sellers are weak at, I've seen, is more around the actual marketing and buyer psychology. Because the buyer intent on Amazon is very high, you can basically get away without having a great deal of marketing, you know. And what I've been focused on the last 12 months is D2C, as well, obviously, as Amazon. So any of my R&D time is going into D2C, and that's taught me a lot about marketing, which is I'm bringing to the team, really developing brand identities with each of the brands that we're working with. Obviously, AI is good for this, but as you'll have seen with AI, it spits out a lot of nonsense as well. It's a great ideas machine, but it spits out a lot of nonsense too. So it's good for ideas, which helps kind of give us more leverage as a creative team to basically build out brand identities, build out video scripts, etc. But it needs big human oversight, and it needs a lot of contextual data. Because I've seen it nonsense where it's just these double dashes all the time, people sending responses back and forth, and you can tell it's AI. So I've spoken obviously to the team about this and making sure that we don't use AI for ideas, use it for let's say helping with report building and stuff based on the data. But don't forget, we're the expert and we've got to oversee that and make sure it's meaningful, and make sure what we're saying is grounded in data, evidence, supporting, resources attached. Because this is where it gets really powerful. But if you lose all that and just tell build me an ad strategy for this product, it's going to spit out a lot of nonsense. You know, so you really need to be mindful that we've seen AI get it wrong a lot of times, and therefore we use it for sure because it helps delivery, but we use it in a very specific cases, very specific ways, with a lot of contextual data, a lot of evidence, a lot of whether it's buyer reviews or it's brand analytics, we're pumping it with data and then we're curating it. We might ask it to build out based around the structure we have or the systems we have, but then it requires us to edit it. So that's excited, a little rip on AI and how we're using it. I will probably create a separate video on this and how we're using it as well, because I've had a few people mention AI. I think there's a lot of FOMO around it. We've used it creatively as well. In fact, I will create a separate video on this because there is obviously a lot to it. One of the other things we're doing at the moment with the agency is building out a Shopify funnel. So we have an F&B brand there that is very promising, and I believe we can crack off Amazon, Meta Ads, Shopify, building out some, we're going to be building out some landing pages. We're going to be optimizing the PDPs, the product display pages, and the homepage, so that we can basically get a profitable source of traffic. And we can start tapping into, on Amazon, everyone is searching for the product, so the product to wear, right? So that's a segment of the target market, people that are actually searching. When you run ads off of Amazon, let's say through Meta or TikTok or whatever the platform may be, you can also tap into the unaware audience, and the unaware audience is people that maybe you're not aware of the products yet, maybe you're not even aware of the problem yet, but they're able to be marketed at. And this is a much bigger demographic because it's the rest of the market basically. So whereas the people, let's say for example, there's 20% of the people that are aware of the product and searching for it, there's probably 80% that actually have that pain point or could do with the benefits in their day-to-day of what your product provides, So this is one area we're very excited about. One area that I'm overseeing here is the funnel and making sure that this is going to be an awesome launch for the client. So one that I'm pretty pumped about. I also had another thing come across my desk as well, and that is another client looking to exit their business. So I've done a few valuations at this point. Obviously, I've got a master's in finance as well, so I'm well versed on all of this. I haven't seen through a full exit yet, but I've been thereabouts. So I'm going to get into the financials, get into something that I'm very easy for me to do at this point. I've obviously built financial courses for e-commerce sellers as well, which have been well received. That has gone into a lot of finance, stuff that people just maybe are lacking. Financial forecasting, valuations, exiting, raising finance. That's in our school community. And with this one, I think there's a lot of potential. I think it's a really good brand. It is in the health space, let me say. That's about all I can say until now. But it is a really good brand, very profitable, and one that's been around for a long time, 10 or 15 years. So something that has a lot of potential. And I think it will complement, even when I see good friends and other clients that we have, people in our community, I think it would actually complement a lot of people's businesses. So it could be insanely valuable to them, and something that I'm going to get in and see what it's worth, and then also obviously chat to the client and see what he thinks in terms of, is this something that we exit now, or is this something that we maybe build a growth plan to grow it further first and maybe add some more zeros to the end, maybe not zeros, but add a few more hundreds, thousands of dollars to it, a growth plan. So we'll see what comes up. And again, I think keep saying the word excited. I know I'm saying that a lot, but I'm guessing it's a good thing. Just got back from a trip to Thailand as a vacation, but I'm sure if there's any clients watching this, you'll know that I wasn't totally on vacation. One thing I did do, which I'm pretty proud of, is train Muay Thai every single day. So, except on Sundays, the gym was closed, but for the 2 weeks I was there, I trained every day. Pretty intense for anyone that's done like martial arts or fight training. Pretty intense. It's on a different level than just going to the gym and lifting weights and going for a jog, etc. So to do this every day and I done Muay Thai, obviously a lot of Thai trainers. I have bruises all over the inside of my leg from my trainer, like they kicked me and make me keep range and stuff like that. And then also just for conditioning just kicks me. So, but one thing this year, as some of you may know, I was very sick about 6 months ago. I was in hospital for over a week. And this year particularly, I'm like 32 years of age right now. And for me, it got like things seem more serious, or at least for me, it was more serious after I got to 30. Because I wouldn't say slow down. I think it's more, some of it is like perspective. You think it's slowing down, so then I don't know, you project it basically. Because I found myself this year saying I couldn't keep up with training, and whether it's Muay Thai or the gym or whatever it is. And a lot of this was down to I'm getting old. But I've realised now, because I trained every day over there and my fitness is really good, that's not the case. That's not the case. So I've got a membership now for the local Muay Thai gym that obviously Sam trains in. If you want to see Sam's fight that he had a few weeks ago, check the other video, because that was amazing and obviously very inspiring. But I want to do it, obviously it feels good to do fight training. I didn't do fight training until maybe 3-4 years ago. I started boxing, and then this year started Muay Thai. So it's a lot of fun, it feels great, the fitness is amazing, and I do like learning something new. you know, whether that's like D2C marketing or playing chess this year or Muay Thai or boxing. I like to have something where I'm learning or reading books and stuff like that. So this is just one of them, just enjoying the process of working on the craft of Muay Thai, you know. So just another thing. But yeah, very happy. I'm not an old man yet, and definitely one where I could give myself a pat on the back for training every day over there. So look, this is the update. I hope some of these things were helpful. If you have any comments on what you want me to talk about next, or just resources I can do, then just let me know. If you like this, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.